Good morning. Morning, Momentum Trader. What on earth happened here? Why did this squeeze up from $2 up to $40 on on what is this? This is barely like 100,000 shares of volume. Not even. 14,000, 8,000, 15,000. Guess the algos decided to pump a stock today. Morning, Kingman. I think this stock is bot trading, so I'm not going to touch it. This is our top leading gainer today, unfortunately. It'll be a little bit difficult to dislodge at 352%. TJMB, information from after hours. If that trend line works at all. The problem that I have with this stock is that the 200 moving average is up at 1.9. Like it has a little bit of room to move. It breaks through 140. That's like 15 cents of room to move, but on a cheaper stock as our second leading gainer. I'm not as big of a fan of. That's a bit too expensive for me. Not enough volume here. It's also a bounce off the low, coming down from $100 from a couple weeks ago. Pretty amazing that it could go from 7 all the way up to 107 and then come all the way back down in the matter of 3 weeks. I think we're just remaining patient for now, sitting and waiting. So apparently it's supposed to be raining today. So hopefully all the wildfires get put out. Here's to hoping. This one seems like it's on the backside. It popped up to 32 on July 9th, came all the way back down. It's been having resistance around here. On 12, 1250, 1260. A little too light volume and not up enough on the day for me to trade this, so why am I using the trading view charts? For a few reasons. The trade zero charts, I don't particularly like the visual look on them. And they're not as intuitive. And they're not as customizable, and they're a bit harder to draw on sometimes. I just prefer the look of the trading view charts. Even if there is a very slight delay on the charts, it doesn't really matter. Because when we're zooming in on a trade, like basically like the trade zero level 2 is where you're looking when you're taking a trade. The charts are the history, right? They're the context. Even if it's like I'm sure the delay isn't that long. It's probably maybe like a couple of milliseconds. It doesn't really matter. And like I can connect the trading view charts to my scanners here. I have ChartsWatcher and I have the ChartsWatcher desktop connector. So whenever I click on a scan, it'll automatically type in the symbol so I can look at it very quickly and then decide if I want to pull up the level 2 or not. So I just like the look better. I mean, there might be a tiny delay, but it's probably, even if there is, like I've never noticed, like I've never had any issue with delays. But even if there is, it doesn't really matter. I just prefer how it looks, the feel of it, and I don't particularly like the trade zero charts. I'm actually not connected to TZ on my trading view. It's on paper trading right now. Uh, you can't see it at the bottom. Yeah, it's not connected. But I pay for the US market indices on TradingView so I can see everything just fine, even while it's not connected. But it's already like fairly accurate. I've never noticed any issues. I've had the TradingView charts and the TradeZero charts side by side before, and they're pretty similar. It's like 14 bucks. I picked up the annual sub for TradingView a long time ago for like the ability to have that's another thing too, right? Is that I can have a bunch of side charts. On TradeZero, I have to mix all my applications. It's a little bit weird. But yeah, I picked up I think I picked up an annual or not $70. I picked up an annual sub for TradingView on one of their Black Friday deals for 50% off. So it was like $400 for 12 months. So it was like 30 something, 33 or $34 a month in equivalence. And then on top of the $14 bill, it ends up coming out to around $50 a month. Are you saying TradeZero isn't? Or are you saying TradingView isn't good for charting? Or TradeZero isn't good for charting? Like, are you saying that TradeZero has better movement but isn't good for charting? Okay. Like if I might be able to pull up one here side by side. You open up a chart. Connect it to I'm not really interested in S stop, by the way. It's too expensive for me. It's just to bounce off the low. So I'm just pulling up a side chart here. Oh, thank you. No, I haven't been told that before. I used to think that my voice was really nasally. But I think that's improved over the years too a little bit. Um, yeah, see, I don't use the TradeZero charts very much. I'm already confused here trying to link it. Why my other stuff is linked by a letter. Why is this linked by color? I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb. I usually have Ross's stream on the side, usually muted, just to check in on what he's doing. Sometimes I pull up some other streamers on the side too, just to check in on them. I like seeing what people are doing. All right, now I messed up my. Gosh dang it. Close this. Windows. Enter it. Close it. All right, well that's gonna have to happen another day because I'm getting annoyed by it. I accidentally maximize it and I don't know how to unmaximize it without closing it. Ross Cameron stream? Ross Cameron streams on his own website. But it requires a subscription. So it's not freely available to the public. But you can access his stream on warriortrading.com and then create an account and pay for the sub. Then you can watch him stream. When I first started trading, I paid for his education course, so I get a year of his live streaming free. It expires in a couple of months, though. I'm not sure if I'm going to renew it because I've already watched him for a year, and at this point, it's better for me to be on my own, but oh yeah, I check in on DJs sometimes. His strategy is much different from mine because he's a hyper scalper. But I check in on him every now and then. I mean, I just had a thought, by the way, regarding your comment about TradingView. I actually didn't know that there was a like if that's true, if there's a delay, but that would surprise me if there is actually like that much of a delay because TradingView has been embedded in a lot of different programs. Like for example, Ross Cameron's charting software itself also uses TradingView, so he uses it on a day-to-day basis, basically. So Ross Cameron uses it. I see a lot of prop firms using TradingView, even. I don't think I don't think there's an issue with using the TradingView charting software. And like I said, I think it's less important than level 2 to get like an exact second by second accurate reading. I could be wrong though. I only take a couple of trades with small profits. But right now, I'm still only 11 months into trading. So, according to a lot of people, that's not a very long time frame, right? I would say that it's honestly much better than average to be where I am for the amount of time that I've traded, only 11 months. Basically being slightly unprofitable, like almost break even without commissions, but kind of just losing on commissions. And right now I'm only trading 50 to 100 shares, so the profits are small, but that's only a matter of share size for one. So even if I pull maybe on average 10 cents out of the market a day, which is really only what you need to make a living if you can eventually build up your account consistently and get to a larger share size. Let's say I'm trading with 5,000 shares, right? Which is 100 times what I'm currently trading with. I'm trading with like 50 shares, 50 to 100 shares. I trade 5,000 to 10,000 shares. You pull 10 cents out of the market a day, that's $500 to $1,000 a day at like your maximum account size, if you can eventually build that up. So, like for example, I had a $40 green day a couple of days ago. I was trading with 50 shares. If I was trading with a maximum size account, that would be like multiply what it was like $40 times 100. It's like $4,000. But the key is doing that consistently and trying to minimize my red days. But there's also some things that I'm not doing yet as a beginner, which I would be doing in the future once I get more experience. Like for example, Ross adds to his positions. He gets aggressive when he knows he can because he has more experience and when a stock is going parabolic, so he can take advantage of it. My strategy right now is very simple in the sense that I'm taking one entry and one exit. In the future, I could add to my positions as I think that the stock and the position is working and I can get more out of the trade. But that's an advanced technique. It's not something like I've tried doing that, but I'm not experienced enough to know when to add to the positions yet. So sometimes I add to them and then they reverse and then I lose my profits. So I think the key for me is going to be surviving the market long enough to gain experience so that I can maintain consistency and get a feel for how to deal with market sentiment, both in terms of whether the market is hot and cold, and then what setups are working and what aren't working, and then increase my accuracy for the setups that I trade. And as I do that, then I can start looking at, you know, some of the things that Ross does when I start building up my share size, scaling in and out of trades, uh, taking bigger size once I start getting a cushion on the day. Maybe I take a few more trades. I learn a few more setups. He trades some additional setups that I don't trade. I can eventually learn more setups as I start gaining a backbone of profitability in the setups that I'm good with, right? So overall, I'm very early on in my journey still in learning how to trade. This isn't something that happens overnight. It's something that happens over a long accumulation of experience in the market. I used to be a bit complacent and think the opposite. I used to think that I could learn all the setups and I could come in and just trade the charts. And I thought it was a matter of effort, right? Sit here, trade all day. Um, I binged Ross's courses probably within like a couple of months, learning literally everything I possibly could. I looked at other content creators. I tried to find other content creators that I thought were reliable. I spent a lot of time looking at charts, reviewing charts, putting in like max effort. And what I learned is trading isn't, at a certain point, trading isn't effort anymore. It's discipline and experience. But there's only so much experience you can gain in one day. There's only so many opportunities that matter for this particular strategy that it takes a long time to gain experience. DJ is a little bit different. I would really be curious to see how profitable he actually is if he ever shares his broker statements. I'm sure he is profitable, but I'm not sure if it's as profitable he as some people think, because gets eaten by, like, a lot of his profits get eaten by commissions with how much he trades. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if half of his profits are getting eaten by commissions. There are a lot of people who do make it profitable hyper scalping, but it's extremely difficult. My my strategy is what Ross trades, and we look for the best quality and stick with the best quality. Take one or two trades per day, maybe three or four or five if it's a good day and there's a lot of opportunities and it's hot. We're interested in setups that we have edge in. So that means stocks that are breaking out and making new highs, stocks that are breaking out of a range, stocks that are going parabolic on news. Those are the setups that we have edge with. So when it's not doing like one of those three things, we don't care about it, right? Like right here, what's the stock doing? It's consolidating. It's MACD's negative. It's on the backside. I don't care about this. I don't even look at it. That's why I don't take the trade. Right here, I mean, we have breaking news on this. Um, and this would be something that you could look at. It's up 30% on the day. It's under a 20 million share float. Got news. Some traders are trading it. But we look at risk reward as well. So like the float is a bit higher. It's a cheaper price, so it's going to grind and it's not going to pull away like 20, 30, 40, 50 cents. So, and because it's cheaper, it's going to be grindier and it's going to be harder to read level 2. So I mean, that's where our edge is really, with cross camera strategy is stocks that are moving quickly, that are breaking out and making new highs, or has fresh news, and you can read level 2 on it and it's moving quickly. That's the strategy in a nutshell, right? The execution matters a lot though, and there's only so many opportunities you get per day. The part that I'm struggling with is taking advantage of the opportunities when they're there. Like for example, a couple of days ago, it was either yesterday or the day before. I think it was the day yesterday. There was basically nothing. There was maybe Ruby, but it was the day before. There was actually two trades that I could have taken uh, on the front side when it was breaking out on breaking news that I just didn't take, either because I was too slow or because I was too afraid of getting in because I want to get in on a pullback. Right? If I was more experienced, maybe I'd be more confident to just jump in and then I could be making more money, and then that would naturally increase the number of opportunities I have per day with this strategy. As I get more confident, I can get into setups quicker, my workflow gets faster. So when you're trading a quality over quantity strategy, it's more about taking advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves. As a beginner, I'm not taking enough advantage of them, right? I'm not adding to the positions. Sometimes I'm missing them still. Sometimes I'm getting in the wrong places and it siphons my profits. Every individual trade matters a lot more than when you're trading frequently. I mean, that was a very long-winded response to your question. Hopefully that answered it. But I think in the long term, I will be profitable because I already have the most important thing right now, which is maintaining discipline, not blowing up my account, surviving the market to gain experience. I have a 9 to 5 job. So I normally only trade uh, until market open. Sometimes I will stay a little bit longer and trade market open until like 9:45, 10 when I work from home. But I do have a 9 to 5 job. Gotta have something to fund the account. If I become profitable someday, then I would look to quit my job. But I'm not gonna put all my eggs in one basket either. I plan on writing as well. So I've been writing fiction novels. I'll have trading going on. I'm doing the YouTube thing here, live streaming my journey. So hopefully by the time I quit my job to go full time, I'll have a bit of diversified income so that it's not stressful being a trader and having to deal with drawdowns while it's my only source of income. Something has to keep the power on, exactly. I do have a rental house, by the way. Like I have a house and I'm renting it out right now. So I have that as well. I might be able to rent out both the upstairs and the downstairs. Right now I'm just renting the downstairs while my sister's living in the upstairs. But I might take the upstairs from her and then I'll rent both halves and then I'll have that as a supplemental source of income as well. It is true that some people never make it in trading. Some people are never profitable, so it's good not to put all your eggs in one basket. I won't deny the possibility that I never become profitable. That could be true, right? That's not something I'm considering right now because I'm still in the learning phase. If maybe in 3 or 4 years that I'm still not profitable, or 5 years, and maybe I will have to put it down. But we're pretty early on in our journey still. And I think it's an achievement just to get to the 1 year mark when I reach the beginning of August here. August is when I first started trading. Ross has a video on his YouTube which kind of goes in a bit more depth about the time frame that it actually takes to learn trading. And he says that most people quit by 1 year. Most people just blow up their accounts and leave and they just give up. So 1 year is kind of a milestone where you kind of learn that you have the guts for it to keep going with it. But it might take 2 years or 3 years to actually start becoming profitable. I hope it won't take me 2 years. I'm hoping that maybe in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months I can start becoming consistent. It's just a matter of showing up every day, reviewing my trades, reviewing what I did right and wrong, and making adjustments where I can, getting a feel for the market, getting the experience and the sentiment of the market. And I do think it is important not to have too high of expectations either. Partially because I did come into the market with high expectations already. Like I said, I came in expecting to be profitable within 3 or 4 months. But if you aim for the sky and you get a rock, the difference between a sky and a rock is, the trees, the plains, everything in between. It can feel devastating. So you want to aim for something small first and then build your way up, and then it doesn't feel so bad. Right now, I'm not scaling in and out anymore very much. I'm doing 1 entry, 2 exits, and I'm just going for base hits while I'm learning the best entries, learning to increase my accuracy. And this is what helps me survive the market. We might have a couple of $20, $30, $40 red days here and there, but that's tolerable. Still gets the emotions going, gets me the experience that I need. Lets me know whether I've been successful in a trade or not. Why we don't size up. That's why we don't expect to be profitable right away anymore. We're just coming in 1 day at a time and figuring it out. And that's how houses get built, one brick at a time. Doing this almost 3 years now, no blown account, but still trying to figure it out. Well, no blown account is a good achievement. It means that you do have the discipline not to blow an account, which is one of the more important things for trading. Right? It doesn't. I think people really underestimate this. It doesn't matter how profitable you are if one bad day could wipe out everything. I could build my account up to $100,000, $200,000. But if I have one day where I let go and I don't have the discipline to rein myself in, and I could lose all that in a single day and be back to square one. That's really what ends trading careers. So no blown account is an achievement. It is tough to figure out the market. It is very tough. I mentioned this a couple of times on stream, but I think the most difficult part for me is the market sentiment part. There's market sentiment for the entire market, so whether the market is hot or cold. And then there's also market sentiment per setup for each individual setup. Sometimes certain setups work and then sometimes they don't. And that's what makes trading so dynamic, is the ability to gain enough experience to recognize what's working and what's not. And having enough experience to have multiple setups to fall back on and multiple strategies to fall back on. Within one umbrella of a strategy, you have multiple maybe setups or multiple nuances in your strategy to account for market sentiment. Like for example, when it's cold right now, it's kind of cold today, but it's been somewhere in between hot and cold. A few weeks ago it was really hot back when the Chinese news were popping for a couple of weeks, and I had to try and adapt to that, and that was a nightmare because I've never seen a market that hot before in all of the months that I've been trading, where everything was just popping for no reason. Didn't make any sense to me. So some traders would be able to take advantage of that and make a ton of money. I didn't. I lost money. Now we're kind of in between hot and cold. So when we have news, traders are willing to jump in and the stock pops up 200, 300%. But when there's no news, there's nothing moving, and we're kind of just waiting for the next thing. And then there's when the market is really cold, you're kind of forced to wait for news. And even if there is news, sometimes you can't jump on immediately because traders are more hesitant to jump in. You have to wait for the first pullback, and then if it holds up, then you can start trading it. Or if it curls back up. So that's, those are the three market sentiment shifts that I've noticed so far. But then there's setup sentiment as well. I'll give a few examples of this. There are certain periods in the market where some setups work quite frequently and traders recognize that the setup is doing very well. And then there are periods where that setup does not work at all. And short sellers get aggressive when they see the setup. There was a period of time where gap and goes where you could buy the first 1 minute candle on market open and it would almost always spike. For maybe like 2 weeks, the first 1 minute candle was just spiking. So you could just buy it and be profitable. Good morning, like constructions. And after 2 weeks, it just didn't work anymore. It stopped working. And, you know, if someone continued to buy the first 1 minute candle and kept losing on it, and they were profitable for 2 weeks and they don't understand, like, okay, sentiment has shifted now. It's not working anymore. Let's go to something else. And they're going to start losing on it. A lot of the bull flag setups haven't been working recently, as I mentioned a couple of times, because a lot of traders are jumping on to the first 1, 2, 3 candle extensions after a breakout or on breaking news, and then it gets overextended. And short sellers are shorting the first 1 minute candle to make a new high after a pullback. For a period of like 3 or 4 weeks, I didn't realize that. I continued trading bull flags anyways, and I was just getting in on false breakouts constantly and just entered a huge drawdown. I didn't have a diverse number of setups that I was confident in. So once I started losing on bull flags, I started losing confidence. Like, does my strategy actually work? But it's actually just the sentiment of the market that shifted. Nothing really changed with me. It's just that the setups just aren't working right now. So I have to shift to something else. I have to learn what is working instead of continuing to be stubborn on what isn't working. That doesn't mean you need like 100 different setups. You only need a few of them. If none of them are working, then you kind of just got to sit on your hands. Maybe you go in a simulator and you backtest another, maybe another setup if you're not comfortable with it. Like doing dip trading. If dip trading is working, you can draw an ascending support trend line, and sometimes dips have been working. You can just buy off the lows. But it is very important to recognize the sentiment of the market with this particular strategy that I'm using and that Ross is using, and being able to adapt accordingly, and not not start strategy hopping just because one setup isn't working. Another section to consider in terms of market sentiment is your position sizing as well. That's also something to consider. Ross typically trades with smaller share size during a cold market than he does during a hot market because there's less volume, there's less traders jumping in. You can't trade as much share size. You start getting more slippage. The setup stop working as often overall, not any particular one, but short sellers are a little bit more confident that the market is bullish. So that's why I have a strategy for both a cold market and a hot market, or at least I did, but I'm trying to be a little bit more dynamic right now. And also I'm kind of just trading 50 shares, quarter size across the board. In the future, I will look to try and size up when the market is doing better as I get more confident, but there's a lot of things to consider. It's not just learning a setup, learning a strategy, and uh, just doing the same thing every time. That'll work for some strategies, but not in small caps. For the strategy that I'm using with Ross Cameron, at least, gotta be adaptable. That's the hardest part. So we're coming up, or we're past 8 a.m. here, and there still hasn't been anything popping up. I've kind of just been rambling to fill the time. I mean, if anyone has any other questions, free to take them. I don't like this stock in particular, STAK, an oil stock. Uh, Over 440, 460. I mean, this could pull away. I just have to wait to see if this holds up. If it pops up over 470, it's only up 16% right now. I'm wondering why STAK had that much volume yesterday during regular hours. I don't see any news on it. But the last news was June 8th. Yeah, I see the breakout spot there from the previous day. I'm just wondering why it moved yesterday. It's another no news Chinese stock. I just like the trading view charts better. I don't think the customization for the trade zero charts is intuitive. It doesn't look very nice. And I can, with TradingView, I can have multiple side charts very easily and just have my drawings across all the charts. They all sync up. And also with Charts Watcher, I can link Charts Watcher to my TradingView charts, and then whenever a scan pops up, I just click on it and it automatically types in the ticker. And if I like it, then I can type into the level 2 whether I want to see it or not. This top leading gainer is going to be a little bit difficult to dislodge today. Up 340% still. Nice job, Momentum Trader. Yeah, if we get some news, then there might be a shot Wildcard Friday. I mean, I'm green this week so far, so I don't really want to screw it up either. I'm not very significantly in the green, but you know, I made those mistakes the other day and got to pay for it. Pay my tuition. But yeah, if there's no opportunities, I'm not going to force it either. Otherwise, I'll pivot to red. Well, let's try showing these charts here on STAK. I'm hoping we can have Wildcard Friday today. We've had some Fridays in the past where we've had crazy moves. Yeah, I'm just looking at the Trade Zero charts again. It's mostly a matter of preference for me. I just really like the look of the TradingView charts and being able to just click. I could make Trade Zero charts work, but it's just more intuitive for me, I think. I'm not interested in this unless it can get over 440. Otherwise, it's just going to kind of be choppy. Now we have a big sell-off here too. $8.15 come and gone, and we still don't really have anything interesting here. It is possible, with this being a Chinese stock, that it does punch through 440 and goes higher if there's nothing else to focus on, but we're just chilling for right now. Ross Cameron hasn't taken any trades yet either. He's not even looking at the stock and just working. Well, we're coming up. We're slowly grinding here. It's not clear to me whether this is going to break through yet, or if this is just going to do a double top and reject. Because it's only up 20% on the day. So how obvious is this going to be to traders? Right, if we look at the top gainer scanner, STAK is close to our 5th leading gainer. So it could become in traders' minds very quickly. I see a 10,000 share seller popping up there. So this is our next level, 467. It's that daily level. It is increasing in volume. Got a bit of a topping tail on that 1 minute candle there, and I see a 13,000 share seller popping up there. Gets bought back up though. Hmm. The high is 471. I mean, that seller is making me a little bit uncomfortable. I keep seeing it pop up there. First candle make a new high is 470. One. I'll take a position looking for the breakthrough 475. Stop is 465 for that break there. Not pulling away super quickly, so I'm going to take a little bit of profit. It feels like it's kind of stalling, it's kind of grinding. Take a little bit more, just 1/3 at a time. Yeah, I don't really like how grindy it is. It's not pulling away super quickly. We got some coffee money, but I tried to give it a little bit more time, but we only ended up getting out on the ask at 476 at the end there. I think I could have probably squeezed out a little bit more profit if I took more up near 5 at like 490. But that was just first 1 minute candle to make a new high for the breakthrough 467. We got in just a couple cents above. Yeah, I had the expectation that it would pull away a little bit faster. That's why we scaled out so quickly there at the beginning. The risk reward honestly wasn't very good. I scaled out, 7 cents a profit, 16 cents a profit. And then I tried to let the rest, go to see if it actually would continue higher. But I think this trade, I could have got a little bit more out of this trade. I think the decision to scale out was right, but I think that final sell should have been up near 5. I'm not really interested in it in this area. Like I said, these type of setups haven't been working so great, and it's too grindy for me now. It didn't pull away where I expected it to pull away, so I don't expect it to do much here. Now the 5-minute has a topping tail. I think we're going to leave it alone, and we have $7 for cushion for our next trade. It's not a big cushion. It's something. Yes, they do charge commissions and fees. For me, it's about $1.10 per entry and $1.10 per exit on average. Because I'm trading below 100 shares most of the time. It's fixed below 100 shares. So whether I'm trading with 10, 15, 20, 50, or 100 shares, it's going to be about the same, about $1 on your entry and exit, so $2 per trade. But anything past 100 shares, I believe they charge 0.005 cents in commissions per share, plus a little bit for fees on top. Yeah, it looks like Ross didn't even take that trade on STAK. It was kind of questionable whether I should have even taken this trade. I ended up making money on it, but it's true that it was only up like 30% on the day at the time. No news, Chinese stock, B quality setup, right? That's why I kind of scaled out really quickly. It didn't work right away, like super well, so I kind of just got skittish on it. I'm like, take the profits and get out. Kind of questionable equality setup. Yeah, Ocean One might have been a choice for me, but it's banned in Ontario. It's available in Canada, but it's banned in Ontario specifically. And I live in Ontario, so I can't use it. Like I can't even go on Ocean One's website. It's like completely banned. Like what does it say when I open their website? Yeah, it just says we are unable to provide access to this website in your region at this time. So I just cannot, sadly. But yeah, TradeZero is quite expensive. So this is crawling back up here, but I'm not interested in this anymore. Not unless it can start pulling away, going parabolic. Otherwise, it's a bit too grindy right now. We'll see what it does. One thing I will say in hindsight about this is that it might have been better to buy down here at 450 for this 5-minute candle close. You can see right here, as it broke through 440, that 5-minute candle closed, and then you could buy first 5-minute candle to make a new high at for the breakthrough 450. And then it would have been a bit easier to make a profit on this. Like I said though, I wasn't sure if this could actually break through this next level. Everything is easier in hindsight. But we had this next level at 467 here. So, I mean, if I think about the risk reward, then we have 17 cents to move. Whereas I might be risking that much. Technically a 1-to-1 profit to loss ratio. It was only up 25% of the day down here. I'm not sure. I don't think I have access to DAS Trader. I think DAS is a United States platform. At least I've never seen TradeZero Canada advertising the availability of DAS. I don't know. Let me look at the website. I've never seen it. On the Trade Zero Canada website, platforms are TZ1, Zero Pro, Zero Free, Zero Mobile, and TradingView. SLND is too cheap. I'm not even going to look at it. This is popping up there. What is this? I haven't seen TZ1 before. It says it's new. Oh, this is interesting. This actually has TradingView integration. This new Trade Zero platform. I'll have to look into this. But I don't think I have access to DOS. It's possible. This is something that I'll have to look into. It would be nice if I could cancel my $14 sub and then just integrate here and save a bit more money. Yeah, I'll try to see if I could find time to look into this on the weekend. I do have I am busy tomorrow. Maybe on Sunday I can before next stream. I don't know if it requires me to fund a new account or what. This TZ1 looks like it's new. I haven't seen this before. Oh, it says it was released in October 2025. That's kind of funny because I made my first Trade Zero account like back around October, or like before October, probably September I made it. And I realized that Questrade didn't have hotkeys. I started with Questrade and then I transitioned to Trade Zero. Questrade didn't have hotkeys, but I never noticed this platform before. I don't know whether Zero Pro or TZ1 is better. Something to look into. So this ended up double topping and coming back down. So we're already past 8:30. We got 18 minutes, 9 a.m. Most of the day is behind us. I'm not very I'm not very optimistic that we're gonna get any more opportunities today. We could have a wild card at 9 a.m., but I think it's unlikely. But we're just sitting tight. It's good that this trade back here ended up being green. I'm just thinking about whether I should have even taken this trade or not. I'm not sure. Possible that I shouldn't have. I kind of knew that going into the trade, which is why I scaled out so quickly when it wasn't really pulling away. Theoretically, I could have just done one entry, one exit and gotten 20 cents out of it at 490, maybe 17 cents. Gotten 17 bucks. But this trade might have been better not taken. Even though I am green on it. No news, Chinese stock. Only up 25% of the day. Yeah, no kidding. This would have been a picture perfect short, actually. Almost. We had MACD crossover, double top rejected, and then MACD continued negative. I'm not sure. I don't even know how to check that because I've never even tried shorting before. Let's see. STAK. This is max locatable 500, locate 100. It says that the locate fees are $2.55 for 100 shares, so 0.0255. I'm just canceling it. I've never messed with shorting before. It is interesting. I think shorting is just outside of my risk tolerance. For small caps. Ten minutes to 9 a.m. Some people could have gotten in this for the break of $1. This is kind of a 5-minute breakout and a break of high of day. It's just too cheap for me, kind of too grindy. I probably would have gotten shaken out somewhere around here. 7 cents in. Nice job, momentum trader. Yeah, I'm just leaving this one alone. Penny stocks are not my forte. charge a bunch of commissions on them, so I gotta take bigger share size. I'm in Canada, and um, I do have commissions. I don't have free commissions. I might have free commissions if I add liquidity. If I do a non-marketable order, I think there are some finagling things you can do so you can like reduce your fees a little bit. But I buy on the ask and sell on the bid, so mine are marketable orders. I pay 0.005 per share. Anything below 100 shares is going to be fixed though at $1.10 or so. When I did my accounting for 2025, pretty much almost every single trade was a $2 fee. But yeah, if you're referring to zero fees, you're probably referring to the non-marketable limit orders. So like for example, if I put my order up at 115 right now and the price comes up and it gets filled, right? It doesn't get filled right away, then that wouldn't have fees because I'm adding liquidity to the market, and then Trade Zero gets some benefit from that. But I always buy on the ask, so I pretty much always pay the commission. When a stock is moving, I want to get in right away. I don't want to wait. Yeah, I just looked up Trade Zero's fee schedule. It also only applies to orders over 200 shares. So your order needs to be 200 shares and also be adding liquidity to the market, meaning that they can't be an immediate match in order to take advantage of that fee. So since I'm not usually trading above 200 shares, unless I have a significant cushion on the day already and I'm really confident in the setup, or in the future when I start sizing up, for now I am paying a fee on every single trade. So for anybody that has a small account that isn't going to be trading more than 200 shares, you're going to always be paying the commission of 0.005 per share. Or the $1 flat fee. Yeah, paid orders less than 200 shares is a $1 flat fee. I thought it was I thought it was 100 shares. It's actually 200 shares according to this document. Below 200 shares, you pay a flat fee. There's also a $59 per month subscription fee for the market data in Zero Pro. I guess the document that I was looking at was outdated. On their actual website, it does say 100 shares. I don't know why that document was 200. That was from 2023, that document. On their website, it says 100 shares. So I was correct. Yeah. That would be nice. Um, they do have some other platforms that are free. Apparently TZ1 is free, mobile is free, and then just regular TradeZero is free. Only Pro costs the $59 per month. But I think, yeah, I think commissions are the same on all of them. Oh, probably. I'm sure that they have some promo codes out there. Da, da, da. I am watching for 9 a.m., but I don't see anything popping up. I'm just looking at. I'm just checking my accounting records. I can make sure that I'm being accurate with what my comments are. Yeah, It is about $1 per trade. About 53 cents, 52 cents on your entry and 52 or 53 cents in your exit. Below 100 shares. So the website is correct, not the document. What I said earlier was incorrect. I was slightly misremembering. I was thinking that it was $1 on entry and $1 on exit, but it's about $1.05 to $1.10 per trade below 100 shares. So nine's come and gone. We have our coffee money, but probably not going to get any more than that. Green on the screen. It's all relative, I guess, right? $7 isn't much by the standard that I'm trading with, but if I was trading with 1,000 shares, then it'd be $70, I guess. If I was trading with 10,000 shares, it'd be $700. $70 is groceries. $700 is almost half a paycheck. I hear it raining outside, so hopefully that means the wildfires are being put out. I live in an area that's northern Ontario where there's a lot of the wildfire. That's where most of the issue is coming from. I know that there are some wildfires in Manitoba and BC and stuff too, and across the whole world, but Ontario specifically has been just burning down. Hopefully it improves after today. Hmm. 5 minutes to 9:15. Just last chance for news. So looks like we don't really have anything today. Might be a dud. Kind of unfortunate having a no trade day yesterday and not having anything today. I think even Ross is hopping off. Yeah, he just hopped off with no trades. That's right, better than red. I had my string of red weeks last month, and now I'm back on uptrend here. So hopefully we can keep that going. Even if it is $7 green days, it's better than red days. We'll try to keep the accuracy going. Accuracy is my major focus right now. I think my accuracy in this current market is going to come down to dealing with my hesitation, increasing my workflow speed when it comes to stock selection. So this week there were actually a couple of opportunities on the front side of some bigger moves where I could have gotten in earlier. Could have avoided the red days just by trading the front side of that move and not trading the backside. So next week we're gonna come back in. I'm not hopping off yet. I'm just gonna wait around for a little bit longer. But next week we're gonna be coming back with a mindset to continue our trend of quality over quantity and trying to get rid of our hesitation on some of the stocks that are moving quickly. Buying first or second 1 minute candle to make a new high on breaking news where it's holding up. Because that's where traders have been jumping in, where the money is to be made right now. We do have to be careful because it is riskier to jump in on first and second candles. We need clear levels of stock holding as our stop. That's going to be the plan for next week, I think. All right, Momentum Trader. Have a great weekend. Yeah, we're coming up to 9:30 in 9 minutes, and I have some work emails I have to deal with. So I think I'm gonna call it here. There's nothing interesting in market open that I'm even gonna be looking at, so there's no point in me sticking around. Um, I'm not gonna be able to stick around for very long anyways. We got our coffee money, our Happy Meal money, $7. It's not nothing. Not a red day, and it's Friday. So I suppose we lock up the green week and then we come back on Monday. I'm not interested in SLND because it's too cheap and the float's too high. S dot's too expensive. Like if we're just looking at the top 5 leading gainers, CJMB, it's too cheap, below VWAP. Yeah, SNYW is, it's just an algo spike. No reason for it to really be up, in my opinion. So I think, yeah, I think I'm done. Coming back on Monday with a fresh mindset, having locked up a green week, even if it is only a $20 green week. Good to get one. So I'm off for now. Yeah, enjoy your weekend, Kingman. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks to everyone else who stopped by today. Stream here. Take care, stay green. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.